How's it going, guys? White Rabbit here. I just wanted to share my initial thoughts revolving around this latest shooting that took place in Dallas. As many of you may or may not know, I used to live in Dallas, and so I'm fairly familiar with that area. And a couple of things kind of stood out to me, a couple observations that I've made surrounding this whole event that I'd like to kind of just share with you all. But before I get into that, I just want to give a shout out to Team Wake 'em Up. This video that he put out right here I think was a really good video. I highly recommend y'all check it out. But without further ado, this is the video footage that really caught my eye. This is the shooter right here, and I'm just going to play a little bit of the video here for you real quick and kind of talk about what's going on here. As you can see, this guy is wielding some kind of rifle, shooting around at the police around pillars and things. But what really catches my attention here is that this individual appears to have some adequate training with this rifle. His stance, the way he presents the weapon, shows to me that this guy has some background with shooting, some serious training. He's not as cumbersome with the gun as you might expect with a novice or with your average citizen. But what is really crazy is when he launches at this police officer standing behind this column. He moves in on this police officer without hesitation. That is not how a typical person would behave in that scenario. This individual is clearly acting suicidal. A normal person would be taking cover and using certain pieces of the landscape to protect themselves and to keep cover. So my initial thoughts with all of this is that, for one, this guy has some serious training, just briefly looking at how he wields the weapon and his stance and everything like that, but also the fact that he has no hesitation in approaching this police officer standing behind this pillar tells me that the guy is not acting in a way that you would typically see with your average trained soldier. The thing that I'm getting at here is and I know this is very, very little to go on, but we might be looking at some type of MK Ultra type scenario here where this individual had been trained and triggered to go on a type of suicidal mission. So that is just for what it's worth. The thing that really has stood out to me in this entire thing, though, like I said, I used to live in Dallas, so I'm familiar with the landscape down there. The shooting took place on the corner of Lamar and Elm. Now, if we pull up Google Earth, the corner of Lamar and Elm is right here. This is where the shooting took place. What's interesting, though, to me is that if we zoom out a little here, let me put it back to north orientation. The shooting took place right here. You know what took place right over here, just a couple blocks down the street? Kennedy was shot right here. Right there is where Kennedy was shot. First bullet was like here, second bullet, third bullet. Okay? Elm Street. This is Elm Street, the same street that Kennedy was assassinated on. Now, I made a video a long time ago on my main channel. I'll leave a link for that in the description down below. And what I do in that video is I talk about all the symbolism surrounding this area, especially this region right here, where Kennedy was assassinated. So knowing the occult significance of this region and the fact that the shooting took place on 7/7/2016, which would be 7/7/16, the 1 and the 6 make a 7, so that's 777, a very occultic number. We may be looking at some type of occult ritual. And if you link that in conjunction with maybe some type of MK Ultra interaction, then it really starts to solidify. So anyway, go check out the video that I did a while back on Dealey Plaza, and you'll kind of see how occultic this region is and how peculiar it is that this shooting just so happened to take place on Elm Street. Anyway, like I said, I just want to share some of my initial thoughts about the shooting. A lot of you guys have been asking me, and so there it is. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks, and God bless.